Blog post 61. Date September 26th. Followers 54,803. Time till I meet Finn? 2 hours. I'm back! I know I've written a lot of posts today, but in case you haven't noticed, I'm having difficulty concentrating. In fact, it's got so bad that I considered going for a run. Yes, you read that right. I was actually thinking about voluntary exercising. But then the sun came out, and I also remembered that I don't own a single item of clothing that's practical for running, so instead I sat at my drum kit and beat away. I thought hammering out a few rock classics would be enough to keep me distracted, but turns out that wasn't the case at all, and I'm back here again, which gives me the chance to set a few things straight. Holy shit, you guys. Whatever response I expected from this blog, it sure as hell wasn't the barrage of abuse I just got. I haven't forgotten I'm with Noah. You don't need to yell at me. I'm never going to do anything to hurt him. Ever. It might have escaped your notice, but I was somewhat stressed during the last couple of posts. I'm not sure stressed is the right word, actually. I was out of my mind. That's a more accurate description. And as such, there were a couple of things I didn't tell you. So maybe I should bring you fully up to speed. After speaking to Finn, I signed up for my classes. Maybe it was my imagination, but I swear I felt his eyes following me around from one table to the next as I attempted to concentrate on what the lecturers were telling me. And yes, I will be attending his lecture too, and that's because they're mandatory for my course, so don't start. Anyway, the second I was out of the room, I tried to ring Noah. In fact, I left him 6 missed calls and a message saying he needed to text me ASAP. I plan on being completely open with him. The fact that so many of you automatically jumped to the conclusion that I was going to start cheating on him is not okay. My blog, remember? My safe place. And if you start abusing me, you know exactly what you can do. Or I will do it for you. Okay, rant over. And to those of you who've been awesomely supportive, I love you guys. Thank you. And for those of you who just wanted to know exactly how I dealt with the situation, I will tell you now. I finished up signing for my other modules before heading back to his table to confirm my place with him and say goodbye, because that's what good manners dictate. When I got there, he handed me a scrap of paper he had ready with his number on it. "There's a cafe just down the road," he said. "They've got this nice little courtyard, and it does great coffees, if you fancy meeting there." "Outside courtyard," I said, indicating my cap and gloves. No, I don't need them indoors, but I hadn't seen much point in taking them off. His cheeks flushed pink. "Of course, sorry, I didn't think. Where are you living? There's a restaurant off Catay's Terrace. It's mainly a bar in the evening. I know the students like it. It's normally somewhere I'd avoid, but it's dark. It's in a basement, in fact. Would you be okay with that?" He looked so worried, so desperate to find an option that would work for me it made my heart ache. It also brought to mind my first date with Noah and how he'd paid everyone in the bowling alley to leave so they could turn the lights down and we could have the place to ourselves. If I ever meet their mother again, I'm going to tell her she did a bloody brilliant job raising gentlemen. "That sounds good," I said. To make sure he knew I was serious, I typed his number into my phone and rang him. "There. You've got my number now too." "Just 7 years too late," he said with a grin. And that's it. You're all up to date. Now you're stuck in the exact position I am. Waiting. Blog post 62. Date September 26th. Followers 54,873. Oh my God, he's cancelled. Can you believe it? He fucking called it off. After all those bashful puppy dog eyes and blushing cheeks, and via text. I'm serious. He didn't even have the balls to ring and speak to me himself. "Something has come up. Can we take a rain check?" his message said, followed by a sad face emoji. An emoji, for crying out loud. Surely he could have come up with something better than that. That meant I had to find the perfect emoji to message him back with. A person with devil horns felt most fitting, or one of those massive red faces. In the end, I sent a wave. I don't know why, really. No worries, I typed. Another time, please, came through the message only seconds later. Soon? Thumbs up emoji. I guess I should have seen it coming. Why the hell would he want to reconnect nearly 8 years after I disappeared into thin air on him? Actually, it's a good thing. Now I can mention him to Noah without feeling bad about meeting him for a drink without checking he minded. Not that we're that type of couple. We are definitely our own people. Anyway, if he didn't know his brother was a lecturer here, how was I meant to? Why does life never run smoothly? I just hope Glen had a better day than me. Blog post 63. Date September 26th. Followers 54,939. Okay, as much as I hate doing this, I need to apologise. But remember, it's my blog, and to be honest, I think it's kind of ridiculous how truthful I am. I know other bloggers aren't. They just gloss over all the crappiness in their lives and dress everything up to make it look like their shit don't stink. So, before you have a go at me, remember that I'm choosing to be straight with you. Got that? I'm choosing to. The thing is, I promised myself I was going to tell Noah all about Finn. I'd even practiced what I was going to say. You know, starting with the whole, "You'll never guess what" line, then casually dropping in the fact that we'd arranged to go for a drink, but as you know, he cancelled, etc., etc. Then, when I eventually got hold of him, he just sounded so damn sad. "My God, I wish I was with you," were the first words out of his mouth. "You have no idea how much I want to be curled up on a sofa with you right now." "I do," I replied truthfully. "I wish you were here too. When are you going to be able to visit?" "Not long now. I'll be there by the weekend at the latest, I promise. I just need to sort out getting my share of the deposit back on the house. I put the largest chunk down when Andy and I moved in together. I could really do with it now, you know, starving artist and everything." "I'm sure you'll get it. He can't keep hold of money that's yours." Noah's voice crackled, and then he coughed and sighed loudly. "So, tell me about your day. Did you go in and sign up for all your courses like you planned? Did you meet anyone interesting?" I know that would have been the perfect point to tell him. I get that. But I cleared my own throat, and what I actually said was, "I talked to another girl in the queue for a while. She's doing English language, but we'll be in the same building. So I guess I'll probably bump into her from time to time." "Cool. And everything with the you-know-what? I checked the weather forecast and it said it was going to be mainly cloudy." "Not even a light sizzle," I said, "and 0 fang issues." "Amazing." Another silence filled the air. "I'm sorry I missed your calls, by the way. I was driving. My phone was in the back, on silent." "It's no problem." "You're okay, though?" "I'm fine. Everything's fine." "Good. I cannot wait to see you. It's crazy how much I miss you. I think I'm going to go insane if I don't kiss you soon." Insanity caused by lack of kissing? I'm not sure that's technically possible. If anyone was going to make it happen, it'd be you. Cue another silence, so profound it felt as if the air was holding me hostage. 3 words were all he needed to say to finish the conversation. Where the hell were they? "Okay. Well, sleep well," he said finally. And that was it. What is the problem? Maybe he's afraid that I won't say it in return. I suppose that could make sense. maybe I need to bite the bullet and say it first. At least that way I'd find out how he feels. Sorry, guys. That's enough of me brooding like a sulky teenager, which we know that I am physically. But hey, I'd better go now. I just heard the door and I want to know how Glen's day's gone. Odd I didn't hear him approaching. I must really be losing it. Blog post 64. Date, September 26th. Followers, 55,234. Okay, so Glen was back and now he's gone out again. It's safe to say that his day went substantially better than mine. So much so that he rushed upstairs into the bathroom without even stopping to ask how mine went. "You can come out with us if you want," he said from the shower, from where I was just able to distinguish his voice through the running water. "It's all years, first years and second years, plus some of the student mentors in the third and fourth years too. You'll never guess who my assigned mentor is." "Sorry," I said, needing to backtrack a bit, since these were literally the first words he'd said to me since stepping into the house. "You're going out? Tonight? On a Tuesday?" "Yup. Did you not hear me? I told you when I was coming up the road." Suddenly, it all made sense. I'd been way too occupied thinking about Finn and Noah and writing my previous post to you guys to notice. Not to mention all the music and chatter coming from the houses around us now. We're probably going to have to rethink him talking to me from a distance, at least during busy times. "Sorry, I couldn't hear you," I admitted. "So what's the plan?" The water stopped, and a couple of moments later he came out of the bathroom with a towel wrapped around his waist. "I think it's going to be a fairly big group of us. Maybe 60 even. We're heading to the pub at the waterfront first. Then there's this new club that's opened in town called Ultraviolet. We might stay there if it's any good, or else head to one of the others." Ultraviolet. If the idea of hanging around 60 drunk students wasn't unappealing enough, the thought of going to a place named after one of the things that would cause my skin to blister and shrivel definitely didn't make the idea any more attractive. "I'm sure it's just a name," Glen said, suddenly realising what he'd just said. His expression, however, flickered with doubt. "I guess they could use that purple strip lighting. I'm sorry, I didn't even think about it. Why don't you just come to the pub part with us, then head back here after that? Or stay on there. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who won't want to go to the club." He was trying to stay upbeat, but I could tell he was actually a little disappointed. That probably sounds weird to you lot who would never consider going out with your baby brother, but Glen and I aren't normal. Remember? Our upbringing has been unique, to put it mildly, and I think he was hoping I'd be there as a safety net for him, as much as I'd be getting a chance to meet people myself. "I'll be fine here," I told him. To be honest, being around so many people today was a bit of a shock to the system. I could do with taking it easy this evening. Start on my reading list. I offered him a smile, which he didn't return. "Are you sure? I don't mind staying in with you. It's just, well, you know how important these early nights out can be. It's when everyone gets to know each other. But there'll be lectures and other activities," he added over-jovially. "I'm sure I'll have plenty of opportunities to make friends then." "Stop being ridiculous. I'll be completely fine. I promise you. If it'll reassure you, I'll fix myself half a pint so I'm not tempted to go out snacking on some of the freshers." "That's not what you think I'm worried about, is it?" he asked, taking my hand, his eyes suddenly full of concern. It had only been a flippant remark, but he'd taken it seriously. "Of course not. I know you trust me." "And I know you would never hurt another person, unintentionally or otherwise." Right then, I realised Glen had never told me that in so many words. Not explicitly. He and Noah make so many jokes about the fact that I might accidentally nibble on someone, and I know they wouldn't do that if they really thought I might, but hearing Glen say it like that struck me deeper than I would have expected. Wanting to hold on to this moment, I dropped his hand and wrapped my arms around him in the tightest hug I thought was safe. "Thank you," I said. "Now go and get dressed. You don't want to be late." It wasn't till the door clicked and he was gone that I realised I hadn't mentioned Finn to him either. I guess tomorrow will be the day for that. For both of them. Blog post 65. Date, September 26th. Followers, 55,288. Wow, what a lot of posts you're getting today. I'm afraid there won't be so many when all the uni work kicks in. Not that it takes me that long to write them, I suppose. Is it wrong that I'm actually kind of freaked out about being here on my own? Of course it is. It's totally ridiculous. I mean, if anything's going to go bump in the night, it'll be me. But it's my first time alone like this, and it's not how I expected it to be. The minute Glen left, the house felt eerily quiet, which is dumb because there's noise coming from the street and next door. But the house is so empty, and now it's getting darker, I'm feeling even worse. This is so unlike me. I spent a full 7 years stuck inside and often on my own, so it doesn't make any sense why I'm finding this so hard. Perhaps I'll do some reading, like I said I would. Blog post 66. Date, September 26th. Followers, 55,288. You know what? Screw it. I'm going out. Blog post 67. Date, September the 27th. Just. Followers, 55,338. Well, that was not the evening I was expecting. Although, I don't know what I was, really. Perhaps a late-night stroll in the moonlight, passing the occasional couple walking arm in arm, while soft music drifted on the air from distant bars. A bit like in the movies. If you want that type of experience, I'd suggest choosing a place where the term time population isn't made up of 97% students. There's no denying that going out at night has distinct advantages. No need to pile on the sunscreen to start with. Plus, the option of wearing whatever I want, even if it doesn't cover up all my skin. Not that I had much time to consider what I was going to put on. The minute I decided I was leaving the house, I threw on a pair of very ripped jeans and a vest top, grabbed my keys and headed towards the centre of town. I mentioned to you how much the local soundscape has changed since all the students arrived, didn't I? Well, it turns out the entire city has changed. The last couple of weeks, when we've gone out, it's been like a ghost town. Occasionally, there have been some old people strolling about the high street, doing a bit of shopping, or a few parents playing with their kids in the park. But it's been quiet, peaceful even. Last night was not like that at all. A cacophony of sounds and rhythms swept around me. Music, laughter, arguments, car horns, motorbike engines revving, singing, mostly bad karaoke. Then there were the smells. Sweaty bodies, alcohol-rich vomit, a dozen variations on the Southern Fried Chicken theme, car exhaust fumes, and 100 different vape flavours, none of which smelt pleasant. The air grew more pungent the closer to the town centre I got. It wasn't yet 9 when I headed out, but the dense cloud cover and contrasting bright streetlights made it feel later than it was. That, and the inebriated state of most of the people I passed. Everywhere I turned were students, arms linked as they swayed and stumbled along, barely able to keep to the pavement. Given my age when I was turned, I've only been drunk once in my life. That was at Levisa's 17th birthday party, when her parents decided we were old enough for champagne. It turns out I wasn't, at least not in the quantity I consumed. Most of that night is a total blank, except I do vividly remember her mum bringing me a clean t-shirt to put on when I finally dragged myself out of their bathroom. It wasn't a pretty sight. Anyway, I was talking about last night. It soon became obvious that my senses couldn't cope with everything that was assailing them, but I was determined not to just turn back and run home. After all, this is my life now. I've got to get used to it. Gradual desensitization had worked with the bloodlust, so I figured I needed to try something similar with this. I picked a spot on a corner, away from the glare of the streetlights, and worked on homing in on certain sounds while blocking out the others. In all these posts I've written, I don't think I've ever mentioned the impact that music has on my life, which is crazy. Of course, you know that I was in a band with Noah when we were younger. That's how we met. And that I brought my reinforced drum kit with me too. But there's such a deep, intense connection between me and music that I can't go a single day without listening to it or playing something. An innate urge to become absorbed into rhythms has always been there. When I was battling cancer, Mum made these positivity soundtracks for me to listen to as I read during chemo. You know the type of thing. Songs with funky beats that immediately get everyone up on the dance floor. Ones that make you smile and feel invincible every time you listen to them. And you could even believe the lyrics had been written just for you, because they somehow mirror exactly what you're feeling in your soul. That's music to me. It's part of my psyche. Since becoming a vampire, this relationship has only grown stronger. Now it's not just about what I hear. I feel it too. And I'm not talking about emotional feelings. I'm talking physical. Every note sung or played on an instrument is never a single sound, but dozens of frequencies and harmonics all interlaced which vibrate through my bones. Sometimes it's enough to leave me breathless. But last night wasn't anything like that. There was such a cacophony that I couldn't comprehend fully what was going on. But I tried. Closing my eyes, I let the sounds wash over me and attempted to focus on just the music. Drum and bass, R&B, old school jazz and a bit of techno. Something different was emanating from each building. Classic rock blared out from one underground club, although it was practically lost between the screaming of drunk partygoers. Another place, a smaller club by the sound of it, caught my attention. It was playing something with a bluesy feel, and the way the guitarist slid his fingers over the frets drew me in immediately. I was considering finding my way there to have a proper listen, when a voice caught my attention from a nearby alley. "What the hell are you doing? Coming and talking to me like this? You know the deal. I find you." I know. What made me stop listening to the music and hone in on what they were saying was the quiver in this second voice. A fearful tremble. As quietly as I could, which is stupidly quiet because I'm a vampire, I slipped closer, keeping to the shadows. The nearer I got, the stronger the stench of desperation and cortisol. A man and woman were having a heated conversation. A woman whose voice I recognised. It's just been really rough these last few days," the man said. I need something to take the edge off. "I'm not carrying. It's my night off." Whatever you've got on you, please, just a drop. I swear I won't bother you again." A smack of his lips reverberated through the darkness, followed by the sound of a bag being unzipped, and a sigh of relief. "Now get lost," the woman hissed. The man disappeared back into the bar as the woman stood re-zipping her bag. I was about to step back and head onto the main street to find wherever the blues music was coming from, when she turned and stared straight at me. She couldn't see me clearly, of course, but maybe she'd been able to make out a faint shadow, although even that wasn't very likely where I was standing. Yet she seemed to look straight into my eyes. A second later, and she was gone, the door to the bar swinging closed in her wake. Somewhat confused about what I'd just witnessed, I returned to the main street, distracted enough not to be watching where I was going. "Ow! Can't you—" "Rin?" I turned to find myself face to face with my brother. "Glen!" I didn't know what I expected. Perhaps for him to be pissed at me for coming out without letting him know, or skulking around in the shadows, which, let's face it, isn't a good look for someone like me. But he was smiling more broadly than I could recall seeing for months. "You came out," he said, squeezing me into a bear hug. "That's awesome. You should come and meet everyone. You're going to laugh so much when you—" "No, thank you," I said, shaking my head. "I just fancied a walk, that's all. I didn't even know this is where you were." He raised his eyebrows skeptically. "Honestly, I was about to head across to the next street. There's some music coming over from there that sounded really neat, only... I don't know why I didn't tell him what I'd just seen. Probably because it would make me sound like a paranoid lunatic who imagines drug dealers on every corner just because she's out in the city on her own for the very first time. Possibly because I didn't want to detract from his first night out and ruin it, just like I ruined everything else for him. I'd think I'd better get an early night after all. You know, not push myself too far or anything. Then, before he could call me out on the worst vampire lie in history, I turned around and sprinted off. But here's the thing. The woman, the one from the alley, I'd been fairly certain from her voice alone, but when I saw her, well, let's just say it's difficult to forget a face or body when you've seen every inch of it naked and dripping wet in your bathroom. It was Kalina, our almost housemate. Kalina is a drug dealer. I think it's safe to say we dodged a damn big bullet there. Blog post 68. Date, September 27th. Followers, 55,716. As you're aware, I have no need of sleep. None at all. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. Most of you guys don't need to nap. Not unless you're a toddler being read this blog by an irresponsible parent or older sibling. But I bet you still enjoy napping, right? Who doesn't like an afternoon snuggled up under a nice warm duvet with your eyes closed as you let the whole world drift away to the rhythm of your snoring? Okay, maybe not the snoring part, but you know what I mean. So last night, I let myself sleep. It's not completely the same as for you guys. Parts of my brain are still listening and on the go, but it's a good second best. I was hoping I'd manage to do this all the way through the entire day. Heck, maybe I thought I could get all the way to the evening. It's not like I've got anything to get up for. I'm in a little bit of a slump, actually. University was meant to be a chance to start afresh. And now it's clear, with Finn being here, that's not going to be as easy as I thought. The thing with baggage is you can't just drop it off on a conveyor belt and decide not to pick it up again. No, it drags along behind you, scraping the floorboards. I often see that with Glen, and I'm not going to pretend I'm immune to it. I'm experiencing it myself. I can hardly mention Mum without wanting to hit something. But perhaps I can handle this situation with Finn a little better. I know what you're thinking. How can I have gone from utterly obsessed with him to fine? I guess that the last couple of months have taught me that life is so damn fragile, it's not worth holding on to things. Yes, I was in a relationship with Finn, but it was a very long time ago. And yes, he was my first love. But in truth, it was just puppy love. What did I even know about love back then? We didn't have bills to worry about or hard decisions to make. We didn't experience any great losses or trials to test our staying power. We were just kids. That was all. Okay, maybe the physical side with Noah is a little behind where I'd like it to be. But the things we've gone through together, him finding out I'm a vampire, draining his blood to the point of hospitalization, my dad dying and cutting my mum out of my life, are all things most couples never have to face. So I'm not going to worry about having Finn as my lecturer, because that's all he'll be. And who knows, It might just be the kick in the arse that he and Noah need to sort themselves out and start talking to one another again. And before you have a go at me for avoiding the situation, I wanted to tell Noah on the phone, remember? But in the end, it didn't feel right. I've decided it has to be done face to face, in person. And the next time he visits, it's going to be the first thing I do. After kissing him, of course. Blog post 69. Date September 28th. Followers 56,160. I've been feeling like I'm stuck in limbo all day today. Glen's been in lectures and now is locked away in his room studying, and I'm still waiting for my timetable. There was stuff going on at the Students' Union to do with all the different clubs and societies we can join, and I did consider going along, but that type of thing isn't high on my list of priorities right now. I do want to make friends, but all of a sudden that feels a lot easier said than done. Besides, someone came to fix the broken oven door today, at last, so I had to stay in for that. I've tried ringing Noah several times, just for a chat, but I guess he's been busy as he's not picked up all day. It's a bit frustrating, but I suppose that's what it's like when you live in the real world. I can't expect him to be at my beck and call the whole time. Though, I would kind of like it if he was. Hey, there's always you guys, right?